So it made me think that some people they struggle sometimes with the trauma because they want also they have those pattern of perfectionism or seeking love through performance. Do you know how to break those patterns because you went through that yourself? How to break those patterns? What tool did you use?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's really my framework is 7 competencies that are essentially helping to break those patterns. And so we've talked about some of them, but I'll just say it real quick. It's called the imperfect level up, and level up is an acronym. And so what it stands for, and then these are essentially the steps and the tools, is let your inner voice lead, which we've been talking about. Explore your childhood as an observer. And so for me, when I started kind of having those experiences with men and I was still married, behind my husband's back, I started seeing a therapist. And so I do feel like some form of therapy is a really good step for those of us with trauma backgrounds, for you to be able to learn how to look at your past and not feel shame. Also, another tip for this one is it came for me by just being a mom and seeing my daughter at the ages that I was when bad things happened to me or I did bad things. And it helped me really forgive myself. And so I would just say, even if you can't go to therapy, but if you want to start thinking about your childhood in a healthier way, think of yourself as the child in your life that you love. You know, it could be a nephew or a niece. It doesn't have to be your own kid, but I feel like if you can start treating your own inner child how you treat children, you know, it's really powerful tool. The next step is value the lesson, even the messy ones. And this is really how I started looking at my affairs and my alcohol abuse and started looking at a pattern. And so being able to look at the bad patterns in your life, the things that you do to self sabotage, and start identifying a pattern, and you can start learning then why that's happening. What is that trying to teach me? Instead of shaming yourself and saying, gosh, I'm such a bad person for doing this, flip it and ask, what is this teaching me? And when you start digging into that, you're going to start gaining lessons to bring forward. The next one is embrace the magic of the universe. When you start doing these other things, the signs, they, for me, they just started coming. You know, it's like the hard part was up front, you know, maybe not the most fun stuff, going through therapy and going through my childhood and finding the lessons of my mess. But all of a sudden, when I did that work, the universe met me and I started seeing signs. And then I started learning about the universe, you know, reading the book, The Secret. Celestine Prophecy for me was like a huge turning point. So I very much recommend that one. But just taking a moment and educating yourself on spirituality and just giving it a try. You know, all of this stuff is like, you know, it might take a little bit of a leap because you might not be somebody that believes in some of this stuff, but just start learning a little bit about it. And then the next few, I'll round out my steps. Lean into your unique healing needs. The work that I do is not like a one and done. You know, it's not like you do these things and all of a sudden you are like forever healed and you never have to do them again. You know, one for me that I am constantly having to recircle back on is checking in with my body and researching new healing methods. And so, you know, therapy was really good for years for me, but now this year for me, it's really been a focus on my nervous system. And so going to healers like yourself,
I
doing
was
a
gonna say,
body work.
I was gonna
Yeah, I
say, yeah.
mean, that's right. So it's doing body work, and it's, you know, both on my own learning tools, somatic experiencing to heal my own, to focus on my own nervous system, but then actually going to practitioners that can help me too. And then the last two, you is unapologetically love yourself. This is when you can start telling one trusted person some of the shame from your past. Just get to a point where you could talk openly about your whole story. And that is going to help you kind of heal that love for yourself. And then the very last one is P, pass it on. And it's as you rise your vibration by doing this work, you are going to be contagious to the people in your circle. And slowly you're going to help them go through these same steps. And then collectively, you're going to contribute to this rise.
I've opened a few new spots for my 90-day program called the Inner Oasis, designed to help high-achieving women who are stuck in chronic stress and burnout to retrain their nervous system so that calm, sleep, and balance become their default, not a temporary break. I will be using a unique blend of sound healing, energy healing, and journaling. So if this is something you want support with, you can book a call at www.inneroasis.org or use the link in the description to get your personal 90-day recovery plan for free.